And a data breach probability is also on a very simple scale of either improbable, possible, or probable are being calculated. Here you see a model, a data mapping model on the left side. That's just not to be followed line by line. That's just to see the rough relative coherence between those left data assets and the right boxes, which are the technical components, and whether the data is stored or just processed there. And then you see some interesting relations sometimes. And the colors here are all red because in this example file, there are not too many mitigations already applied. And that's interesting from the data protection kind of view. So you have a view data asset by data asset where a data breach probability is calculated. And it actually takes the blast impact of those identified risks into account. So it checks on which components this particular data asset is either stored or processed. And all of these components, communication links, could be potential targets for attackers to get to this data asset because it's stored or processed on all of those things. And then it takes into account the identified risks, the unmitigated ones, and sees, okay, these are the remaining risks. And for each risk, data breach probability is also admitted by the risk rules. So, for example, an injection vulnerability might have a very high data breach probability, whereas a denial of service risk, also important for online shops to be online and available, but you're not directly risking to lose data and have a data breach by just, quote unquote, here having a denial of service attack happening. So this kind of algorithm tries to get to those risks that are not yet mitigated in the model, that are most importantly to be fixed or to be mitigated first to reduce the overall data breach probability of that particular data asset. And you have a data asset by data asset. So that's the redundancy in the report. You have three different angles. You have the angle of identified risks by vulnerability report type, then of identified risks by technology and component, by the boxes, and here by the data assets.